All right, welcome back, everybody. Casey on tap. Today's Friday, June the 28th of the year 2024, knee high by the 4th of July. My grandma used to say that about the corn. I grew up in Ohio, and she'd say that that the corn is having a good year or a good crop, if you will, if it was knee high by the 4th of July. So here we are. Just seems like yesterday you were doing your New Year's resolutions. You were planning, you were attacking, you were re energized, you're refocused on some things in your life. And just like the corn in Ohio, how are the things going in your life? Are they knee high by the 4th of July? Whatever it is you're trying to do, I'm backing you 1,000%. Whatever positive things whatever moves you're making in the chessboard of your life, hopefully they're knee high right now. Hopefully they're off to a great start as we venture into the peak here of summer and we head down into the fall and toward the end of the year of our Lord 2024. Welcome back, everybody. Casey on tap. I tell you what, we're doing something right here. I mean, my philosophy is, I suck. The show sucks. We all know it, but the idea is to suck a little bit less than we did the week before. Set expectations low. That's my mantra. You set them low, you just creep up. You grow like a fungus, like a weed, and here we are. Here we are, folks. Just like that, I want to announce that we now have our listeners around the globe. In the Netherlands. Hello out there in Amsterdam. Thank you for checking out Casey on Tap. Also, welcome Newark, New Jersey. Welcome Tempe, Arizona. How about San Francisco? How about Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat? California. Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Welcome. How about Los Angeles, California? Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fishers, Indiana. Many, many, many more as we continue to grow slowly but surely here on this platform. Last week, we did an episode, Let's Talk About the Sauce. And it was just me chatting about booze, chatting about life. And somebody had asked about sobriety and if I could do a show. Of course, I can, on ways to help. Just my thoughts, my perspectives. Because, listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm an expert of nothing. However, I do have a little bit of experience when it comes to the booze, unfortunately, and going down a slippery, dangerous, dark, scary slope. Been there, done that. So I'm not teaching anybody anything. All right, let's be very clear about that. I'm here to give side by side, hand in hand, like teammates. I'm not talking down on anybody. I'm not lecturing anybody. Hopefully, and according to some of this feedback I'm about to read, me sharing and continuing to share how it almost turned into a goodbye, good night, Irene for good for me, simply because of the alcohol and me leaning into that alcohol in at the time in my life, what I thought was the scariest, saddest, darkest time of my life, right? Going through a divorce, which is very common. People go through divorces and they start leaning on the booze. Why? Because of pain, right? Because of the pain. That's why we do it. The alcohol numbs the pain. However, one of my favorite lines from my many AA meetings, nothing like pouring liquid depression on top of your depression. When I was in that dark place, boy, it starts to get weirdly comfortable. You start to weirdly depend on other people in the world and they owe you. Everyone owes you. I mean, you've been wronged. Can you relate to that? Has someone ever wronged you? Hell, some of you might be listening to this right now thinking about somebody who wronged you 10 years ago. And the sting is right there, top of mind. It's still right there like a flame that's never been extinguished. You look at a multitude of red flags that had been missed along the way. And drinking alcohol just happened to be one of those massive red flags that I was missing along the way. Why? Because everybody drinks, right? Social. Everybody drinks. I was a social drinker. Of course I drank. Hell, on the weekends. Yeah, oh, yeah. Me and my boys would turn it up. Drink 10, 12, 15 ultras or light beers on a Saturday. Watching college football, maybe a couple mixed drinks in there. It's just what you do. You're just having fun. You're gambling, you're drinking, you're not paying any attention to your loved ones, or so you think you are, but you're not paying attention to the time and effort and energy and mental capacity and your heart, your soul that's being hijacked right in front of your very eyes. Next thing you know, it's turning into a Stop nagging me. Stop nagging me. I'm going to be with the boys. We're still watching football. Stop nagging me. Don't do this. Don't do that. And then just like we talked about last week, those chips on the windshield, right? And those chips on the windshield become much larger cracks in the windshield and then much larger. And the next thing you know, I mean, I'm surrounded right now in this life by people here in my city of Cleveland, members at my gyms. I've got friends all over the country, frankly. I've got several people that I know that are going through pretty tough divorces or pretty tough relationship situations. And it's incredible how I'm looking at it. And it's like looking back in time. Because why? What's John Bon Jovi say? It's all the same. Only the names change. You start to hear the same things over and over and over again. And then what you'll find is there's two paths. There's two types of people. I know grown men, I've known them here in Cleveland for over a decade, who have not moved 1 inch emotionally, spiritually, from a bad event, a divorce, a relationship gone wrong, somebody passing maybe in their life. It's the saddest thing in the world when you see a grown man or grown woman who have kicked that can down the road their whole lives, and they've never, ever found a way to forgive. They've never forgiven themselves. They've never forgiven that person. And they've just been hijacked. Their mind and the alcohol and the negativity that alcohol brings, and the depression and the anger and the bitterness and the cynicism. They start saying the nastiest things, and their inhibitions go down. And oh my God, all the resentment comes pouring out, painting the picture of another human being like some monster because they've been wronged. Resentment is corrosive, and I hate it. So I'm going to choose not to have that anymore. And the choice is yours, my friends. Make no mistake. Choices. The ladder to the stars. Marcus Mumford. All right, let's get to the fan feedback. What do you say? Let's start with Matt in Virginia, my boy Matt out there. He says, dude, great show. I don't know how you didn't light the mom up at the grad party with a laugh face emoji. All right. So he's being lighthearted about the story I told last week about the mother. I went to a couple of graduation parties recently. A woman who, her son, like I've had many families through my years here, owning multiple franchises, title boxing club, fitness franchises, and over the years, largest multi-unit franchise owner in the country. So I've experienced and been around a lot of relationships, a lot of people, a lot of human interactions. But it's interesting. The mom came up to me and she was highly intoxicated, and this is what Matthew's referring to, is her telling me that her son now, who's in his early 20s and struggling with alcohol, and is now on the path of sobriety and wants to give it up. And she told me that I was like his inspiration. I was a role model for him to look up to, and how important it was. It meant so much to her life that her son doesn't drink. And my sobriety was everything. And I needed to maintain my sobriety for her son. Why didn't I say, oh, what about you? Which I would have several years ago. I would have. But again, I've learned. And instead of doing that, I just look at her and I say, okay, it's okay. Because deep down inside, it's funny. It's she needs it too, in a weird way. There's very few. Think about it. Think about all the kids out there whose parents drink. Socially help parents that have kids over for prom, for homecoming, and they're drinking in one room and the kids are in the other, and they're like, well, that's it. We're not drinking together. Okay. How about parents that go to games, high school games, pregame? Parents are drinking at high school games now? Oh my God. Really? I've got a friend of mine who's, he was completely blown away and irate and went off the hinges because he came home and his 16-year-old son, had some empty fireball shots. And I said, you're drunk at his football games. What are you expecting? What are you going to do? Tell your kids not to drink with a 0.18 blood alcohol level and a vape in your hand? They need someone. They need someone to look at and say, he's not drinking. But we talked about that. Go back and check out episode 8 if you like. I talked about the relationship with alcohol. How can anybody talk to the youth nowadays? The youth has more information. They're more educated. They're more knowledgeable than any generation in the history of mankind. You think they don't have access to drugs and alcohol? Okay, well, they're going to do it if they see you doing it. Well, so figure it out. You don't want your kids to drink? How about you show them what not drinking looks like? I don't know. I mean, it's just an idea. I've had crazier ideas, I guess, but I digress. Fan feedback number 2 from Donald in Lima, Ohio. What up, Lima? What up, 419? What up, Cupie? What up, Keystone Meats? Pat's Donuts and Cream, making them fresh for you. Okay, tell them all, knock your socks off. You get it. All right. Not sure how to follow you. I'm new to Facebook, but definitely need your content, Donald. All right, Donald. Well, at Casey Wandell, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Casey on Tap here, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, however you want to do it. Okay. You just keep on keeping on. I appreciate it. You're not alone. And we're going to keep on rocking here. Okay. Casey on Tap. We're here to serve. We're here to save the world one drunk at a time. And I'm that number one drunk. Don't you worry about it. How about 3,091 days today? Okay. That's what's up. 3,091 days since a drop of that devil's juice cross these lips right here now. Woo, feels good. Praise God. Beautiful day, I tell you. Onward. Finally, Corey from Cleveland writes, just listen to your Casey on Tap. Let's talk about the sauce episode. Very well done. Extremely relatable. I'm currently at 346 days sober. That's what's up, Corey. That's what's up, baby. Awesome job, bro. It has been the best decision I've ever made in my life, not only for my family, for my relationships, but for me. Thank you for everything you do to support others and your openness and willingness to speak about what that poison will do and how it finds ways to ruin lives. Thank you. No, Corey, thank you. That's what it's all about, man. Feedback like that is what it's all about. This is a young man in his probably early 30s, got a beautiful wife, kids. He took the step. 300. He's going on a year, man. I'm telling you. It's the bee's knees, man. Thank you for that, Corey. Keep the feedback coming in. I'm going to let the people know what you're saying, what people think, what they're writing in, whatever. We're going into July the 4th. This is America. July 4th, baby. And next week I think it's on a Thursday. So I mean, people are going to be ramped up. People are going to be ready to go off work for days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This will be a long weekend. And some of you out there, there's that creeping thought in your mind, You've been dancing. All right, you've been dancing that line with the alcohol. You don't know where to turn. You don't know who to turn to. Hopefully, you get these words. You get these words from this blowhard, this goofy guy right here. Get this message in front of whoever needs to hear it. It might be you. It might be your grandma. It might be your son or daughter that's in college. It might be your neighbor. It might be, I don't know. It might be the person that you talk to at the grocery store all the time. It's everywhere. Everyone suffers in silence with alcohol. They suffer in silence, man. They don't want to talk about it. And I'm going to give you some examples here. I'm going to crack open a 6-pack of extensions of thoughts. You know how like the girls, I guess some guys, you get those extensions in your hair. They put the hair in, they like clip it on. Like extensions, right? Like I don't know, makes it look fuller, I guess. It's kind of like it's like your hair. It's your real hair, but then it just makes it extends it. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend it from last week to this week. I'm just going to keep on keeping on with it. All right. Because I had a lot of feedback here. We're going into the drinking holiday of the year. So let's start with a question from Dawn. What up, Dawn? She asked me the question here on Facebook. She just asked straight up, do you still go to bars at all? All right. Do you still go to bars at all? I'm going to answer this a couple different ways. There's people that need to go to AA meetings every hour on the hour, right? Okay. I mean, there's people that need the medical withdrawal. There's a whole spectrum of what it is you need in terms of helping you kick this awful thing called alcohol. Some people wouldn't be able to go into a bar or somewhere where they're looking at an abundance of alcohol and they're surrounded by people drinking because it would, it would trigger them. It would make them want to drink. I was never that. Okay. I started leaning on that good stuff. I'd start leaning on that brown sauce. I started leaning on that 55 proof, that whiskey, the bourbon. I started leaning on that. And it wasn't about being social for me. It was about just getting it in and making that pain, just making the brain go numb, man. I mean, that's what it was all about. Another great one-liner from my experience with AAs. Old dude, he used to say, I wouldn't get too close to a forest fire if I had a wooden leg. So take it for what it's worth. And he was speaking to the youngsters in the room that would say things like, I just go to the bars and you just hang out with my friends and it's not a problem. I just want to just be at bars and hang around. In my personal experience, the amazing thing is, and thank God my brain is this way, the farther I get from drinking, the more I'm around people that are drinking, the more incredibly hilarious it is that people drink. Frankly, we've been so ingrained for so long to think that this is just part of what we do. And if I'm not going to do anything, it's almost like I'm restricting myself. Well, no, it's quite the opposite. Like the Matrix, it's the farther I get away from it, the more it's fascinating that people drink alcohol. This is coming from a massive drinker. I tell you, come out the other side, look back, you're like, damn. All right, number 2 from a Lauren in Cleveland. I appreciate your posts and podcasts, and I feel like I need to talk to you personally. I need to get off the drinking path. It's only once a week, in parentheses, weekends, but it gets out of control. Now, Lauren from Cleveland, alcohol does the same thing to all of us. And deep down inside in our beautiful spirit, soul, like our inner child, I mean, everyone knows alcohol is no good. Let these words get in there. And if they are feeling stingy, or if they're, if it's starting to get some things shaken up in there, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going together. It's the secret, true liberation. It's what it's all about. So this one here, this is something I hear quite often. She's approaching me saying, hey, I feel like I've got a problem. I need to talk to you. Well, I'm sure she has family, friends everywhere. But what is it? I don't drink. Okay. Everyone else is going to say, oh, you're fine. Oh, you're just like everybody. Look, you need to talk to somebody that'll give it the straight medicine. It's not my opinion. It's facts. Alcohol is the most dangerous, most ridiculous drug ever to be legalized in our society, right? All the data points point to it. Everything, criminal behavior, domestic violence, you name it, car DUIs. Oh, it's a mess. Okay, so spare me. Oh, it makes me laugh. It makes me funny. It doesn't. You ain't that funny when you're drunk. Trust me. If you don't believe me, book me for a half hour when you're drunk, and I'll let you know how funny your jokes are. Okay. Sorry. I mean, it goes for me too. But it's only once a week on the weekends, but it gets out of control, she says. Yeah. Right. We all know, oh, no, I don't drink during the week. I'm fine. I don't drink during the week. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Functioning alcoholic. Well, why would you want to function with that? Oh, is that a point of pride? I'm a functioning alcoholic. Okay, great. Why would you want to put that on yourself? Well, I get up. I can do my job. I do what? Imagine how much better you do without that giant elephant of hangovers, brain cell loss, liver function, you gaining weight, bloated, your mind's not clear. You don't know what the hell you said to people. Yeah, but I'm functioning. I'm fine. All right, well, how about try to function a little better, I guess. I mean, technically, if I pulled out a computer from 1985 and plugged it in and slapped it around a little bit, you'd probably hear some beeps and bops and functions, I guess, on some level. But I prefer my iPhone. Functions a little bit better. Next, from a Jessica in Florida. Sorry to message you so late. This message came in about 1:30 in the morning. But what made you take the first step? I feel like I've been close 100 times, but I always back out and rationalize, quote, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve sobriety. Or I would just fail anyway. So why bother? I don't know what happens to us, but it happens to all of us. When we're 7, 8, 9 years old and we're just out there free as a bird, our spirits glowing, our souls glowing. We make friends. We come up with games, when growing up and played Foursquare or we're playing wiffle ball or football or neighborhood. They would all get together. And we used to, just feel joy. Somewhere along the line, this nasty, vile self-deprecation creeps in. And somewhere along the way, we start looking in the mirror and saying, you don't deserve, not worthy. And that's what we do. We all do it. We got to find someone that'll hold that mirror up for us. We have to find someone that'll say, yo, look how beautiful you are, how unique you are. Look at that smile you've got. Look at the color of your hair. Look at the words. Listen to the words that come out of your mouth. Look how unique you are. Look at the picture you can draw. Look at the music you can create. Look at the joke you can tell. Look at how you incredible mother you are to your children. Look, and their faces light up. We forget those things. Let me tell you something right now. I don't know much. Man, Jess, you deserve it, girl. You deserve sobriety. Man, you deserve it. You deserve it. Gets me emotional because I can remember. Yeah, I remember those. I can remember being, hey, I did it all to myself. Man. I almost, hey, self-sabotage, It's a wild thing, Jess. Man, I hope you're listening. I hope you listen to this. Man, you deserve it. Let me tell you how I took the first step. The definition of the word decision or choice is to immediately cut off all other options. Something clicked, as I talked about last week when my dear friend passed away, and I knew that it was over. Let's take a smoker, for example. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm thinking about quit smoking, and they're smoking. And I'm thinking about well, then they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, if you smoke one more cigarette, you're going to die. Whoa. All of a sudden, they never smoke again. What changed? Their brain immediately eliminated any other choice but to quit smoking. We all have had, let's say losing weight or something that's challenging in life. We all have something where it's like, wow, I was incredibly determined, and man, I dominated that. If you examine it, if you look back on it, those are the times that you subconsciously or consciously, or a combination of both, there was no other choice. Hey, I'm losing 20 pounds, period. And then you do it, as opposed to, I need to lose some weight. What's the difference? If you truly want something, nothing will stop. Think about it. When you truly want something or you want to pursue something in your life, I guarantee we all have examples. There is nothing in your way. Nothing will stop you. But if you only kind of want something, 99% want something, maybe want something, everything will stop you, won't it? Oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, boy, I was thinking about going to the gym. But, what? You're going to go fly a kite? Okay, I'll do that instead. We've all been there, done that. When you kind of want something. Oh, maybe I should stop drinking. Oh, you're going to happy hour? Okay, I'll drink with you. I looked at that casket and I knew that my license to drink was about to be permanently revoked. That's it. Hangovers, the mortality, how it made me feel, what it made me do, say, it no longer, the pleasure was no longer there. Everything about alcohol, my brain, thank God, immediately associates with terror, awful, dark, hurt, and I want nothing to do with that. Let's talk about the word sober. When you hear someone say, "Oh, I'm sober," immediately people it's like a double take, trying to pursue sobriety. Let's talk about that word sobriety or being sober. Again, being where I'm at now and seeing just how incredibly ridiculous these fears and apprehensions of not drinking are. I understand them in the moment, but where I'm at now and seeing what it does to people. How about you use the word freedom? How about you pursue freedom? Let's turn the word sober into liberated. Completely and fully liberated from a substance that causes depression, anger, bitterness, terrible decisions. It makes great men and women horrible, dumb monsters, death, carnage, rage. Instead of thinking it as a punishment, it's freedom. Oh, it's not something to be afraid of. The booze, I tell people all the time, alcohol's not going anywhere. That's the beauty. If at any time you get tired of being clear-minded and not having hangovers and being passionate and feeling joy and feeling lighter and more energetic and having more zest and having your soul be alive, if for any reason at some point you just get tired of that, walk half a mile in any direction. All stocked up for you. Right there. What do you have to lose? Besides everything awful. Give it a try. You're choosing one thing with your relationship with alcohol, being a bad example at your kids' games, or if you're getting into another argument with your spouse and and they're trying to tell you that it has something to do with the drinking, you're vehemently arguing, it's not I don't have a drinking problem. You just need to stop nagging me. You're putting one thing in front of everything. Reverse that. Eliminate one thing and unlock everything. It's the most beautiful way to look at it. All right. It's the most beautiful way to look at it. And you absolutely can make the decision, cut off all other choices, and start walking that path if you want to. I'm going to wrap it up with something my grandpa used to talk to me about, words of wisdom, if you will. I asked God to take my habit away. God said, no, it's not for me to take away, but for you to give up. I asked God to grant me patience. He said, no, patience is a byproduct of tribulations. It isn't granted, it's earned. I asked God to make me happier. God said, no, I give you blessings. The happiness is up to you. I asked God to spare me pain. Spare me this pain. God said, no, suffering draws you apart from the worldly cares. It brings you closer to me. I asked God for all the things that I may enjoy in life. God said, no, I give you life so that you may enjoy all things. I asked God to help me love everybody else around me as much as he loves me. God said, finally, now you're getting it. And that's my final message for you today. I just want to make sure people out there know that I love them and that they are loved beyond any comprehension, and they're not alone. And that's really the bottom line, man. If these words, if this podcast, if this touches anybody out there, you, your friends, your mother, your father, your grandma, your grandpa, your kids, nieces, nephews, somebody out there that thinks no one understands, welcome to Casey on Tap. Whole case understands. All right. So until next time, my friends, keep the messages coming. Thank you all so much. If you don't mind, you could ask a friend, tell a friend, have them subscribe, YouTube, have them download and subscribe on Spotify or iTunes or wherever they get their podcasts. I would greatly appreciate it. I promise you, if we suck this time, I'm gonna try my hardest not to suck as much next time and be a little bit better for you. Okay? Until then, everybody, take care. God bless. Let somebody else light the fireworks. Peace and love, and bye-bye.